Well, good morning. Yesterday didn't really turn into much of a recording day. Really didn't have, got those vans delivered in that truck bed, and then I just came all the way home empty. So trying to pick up some of these repos for, like RPM and Ready Logistics, because they pay pretty good money. Some of them pay really, really good money. But anyways, so I was supposed to pick one up yesterday. Well, turns out then they release on Wednesday. Yesterday was Tuesday, from like 9 to 12. So I was like, there's no way that I can hold off a day, lose a day. And of course they didn't tell me that before it was booked. So the actual address is an auction, so I figured it was just an in-op at an auction. But today we're gonna go pick up 2 repossessions. I already talked to the both lots. The one I've been to before, and they're pretty cool guys. They're friends with a buddy of mine, so I've actually met him there before to pick up a repo long time ago. And that ended up going like a couple 100 miles to a different auction. I don't know what the situation was on that, but anyways, so the transmission is not so hot, and then the other one runs and drives. So they pay really good for what they are, and it gets me home. I'm home every day. So it's kind of like filler work, but instead of sitting around doing nothing. You know, if it was summertime, I wouldn't have a problem just sitting around doing nothing, because there's always something to do in the summertime, tinkering with stuff, working around the house. But being that it's winter now, it's doesn't make sense to sit around, because I'd just be sitting inside, not making any money and not getting anything done. So gotta let the horses out this morning, and I'm gonna get on the road here, see if these guys are grumpy this morning. Let's see. Are you grumpy this morning? You're never grumpy. You are the grumpy one. What'd you think? Huh? Come on, buddy. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on, good boy. Good boy. Come on. Alrighty, well, here's one repo. It's supposed to run enough. God, that's loud. Once the trans gets hot, it starts to slip, so we are going straight to the trailer. Moving pretty good right now. And I'm parked right here. There's one in-op repo. That runs just fine. Shut that off. Got our release form. God, that beeps loud. That should give us room back there for the next one. Got 2 separate ones to pick up today. Alright. Alright, well we got one repo picked up. Headed to pick up our second one of the day. People may ask why I'm moving these. Well, I'm trying to be home here more. You do some filler work to still make money, but be home, you know, in the mornings and in the evenings. It's not always going to be like that, but getting close to Christmas time, a lot of work slows down. The new trucks, they're done, pretty much done with 23s. Nobody's ordering 24s yet, as far as like custom ones. So that has kind of slowed down. The aluminum truck beds are, I wouldn't say they'd slowed down, but they kind of, I've given them a bunch of quotes and they haven't, I guess, bid on anything, as far as either the customer comes and picks it up themselves, or they go through a broker and somebody hauls it for way too cheap. That's not my problem. I have a set rate and I gotta stick to it. So these repossessions, depending on where they're coming from, pay pretty good. You know, I'm getting $400 for 100 and some miles for one, and then 300 for 80 miles on the other one, I think. Somewhere around there, $750 for, I don't know, 200 miles maybe. Can't really complain about that, being close to home. Which means tomorrow I have 2 more to get, which are down in Virginia, which pay a little better. I think they pay $400 a piece on 120 or so miles. So figure after fuel, maybe, I don't know, $600-700 a day in profit. Can't really beat that being home every night. I would never do this every day. If I did, I would have a rollback. I'd have like a 2-car, 3-car rollback. Because if you had to winch every single one on and winch them off to unload them, instead of having a rollback, just tilt the bed, it would get exhausting, unless you had a wedge and, you know. Anyways, well, both of the ones, I'm pretty sure this other one I'm getting runs. I talked to the guy, he said keys in it, because I sent him my paperwork yesterday, and he finished up his paperwork on his end. And I just got to see the lady in the office. He said the key's in it, so we'll see if it runs. If it doesn't, we get to it to where we can winch it on. It's not that big of a deal. I don't mind using a winch. I don't mind winching stuff on and positioning it to where I have to either winch it back off the trailer with a snatch block, or, you know, if it's in the way back, I can leave it on the dovetail with the ramps up. That way it'll just roll. Or I can get to a position in the parking lot where I'm delivering where I can just roll it off. I don't mind that, if it pays. A lot of these times you go to pick up a running driving vehicle and the broker's like, well, don't you have a winch? It was like, yeah, I do, but I'm not, it's gonna be at least $100 or $150 extra if you want me to load this thing with a winch. We are 6 miles away, and then it's about an hour and 10 minutes or so to the auction these are going to. There's so many going to this auction. They're all repossessions through Ally Bank, and the amount that I see on the board is unbelievable. got to use these boards because car's so low. It'll bottom out and use my ramp speed so it don't hit the front bumper. But don't really take that much extra time to get that stuff out. Ugh. This car stinks like weed. Ugh. So there's nothing left in this thing. It's already got the financial company on the window. Let's pull it over here and get this one checked in. There's one. Easy peasy. A container truck just went by. That thing dang near sounds like it's coming off the chassis. Getting ready to pull into Bel Air Auto Auction here to drop these two off. I haven't been here in a while, and I'm not sure where they want these. These two run, but tomorrow I don't think the two I'm going to be bringing in tomorrow are going to run. So I'm going to find out where they want these today and then ask them about tomorrow while I'm here. Oh, I know what I was going to say. So one thing about dealing with the brokerage side of things is lack of communication with some trucking companies because they don't speak very good or English at all. So I got this company that hauled, I don't remember what they hauled for me, in August. It was a 5-day pay, and they were paid. They are coming back in December saying they have no record of being paid. Well, I have record of the check being cashed. We mailed a check to them. I have record of the check being cashed. And the fact that they're coming back 3 months later saying they're not getting paid, and the guy's getting crappy with me. I'm like, here is the check number. Here is the that the check was indeed cashed. And he's like getting shitty with me. I was like, man, if you would have came to me like 2.5 months ago and said this, I would have been a little more inclined to. I requested you can request the image of the check from your bank, which you have to pay for. I didn't know, but I was like, you know what, I'll request the image and I'll show you that it was cashed. So I'm just waiting on that. I don't know how long it takes. I may have it in my app and my messages or something. I don't know. I haven't had the time to look. But he was getting crappy with me about it. I was like, man, if you would have came back and said, hey, I don't know if we got payment for this, like 10 days after it happened, I'd understand. But you're coming back 3 months and I'm going out of my way to help you, like, that's on you. Just frustrating because the language barrier, he's not understanding exactly what I'm saying, and that makes him frustrated. So he starts getting shitty with me because he's not understanding what I'm saying, and that's not my fault. But what do you do? What do you do? What do you do? I also had one where this morning, and I made it right with the guy. It's not my fault. It's not the truck driver's fault. It's not the buyer's fault. What happened was
send a truck to pick up a F-350 that was supposed to run enough to load. It's got some issues. I think turbo's out of it or something, but it should run enough to load. Well, apparently the seller has put no effort into moving it or anything, and then couldn't get it, waited till the truck driver got there and couldn't get it started this morning. So I was up with my son this morning, and I was up with him, and the guy called me a couple times, and I just nicely said, like, hey, you got to give me a little bit. What's going on? Just give me a little bit, because I'm getting the kids situated. And he got a little crappy with me, and then I called him, and we got on the same page of, hey, this is neither my fault nor your fault, but what do you want to make it right? He wanted a $150 dry run fee, or truck ordered not used, whatever you want to call it. And I told him, hey, that's fine. I completely understand. It's not your fault. I will get the money out of the customer, and he'll just have to pay the extra money. So that kind of is what it is. I'm trying to find a parking spot here. I can walk up and see where they want these, since they run and drive. I haven't been here in a while. I think they check them in right here. I'm not sure. We'll walk up here and see. But that guy was really upset with me. He was like, said something like, I need you to call me. You need to call me because I'm gonna make a lot of stink. I don't really know what he meant by that. And so I called him, and he just kind of wanted a dry run fee. And he was upset because the customer, or the seller, was like, well, I told these guys this thing didn't run. And he never told anybody that. He was just trying to get out of him being the lazy one. He's like, I told him it didn't run. He's like, I told him last night. And of course, last night nobody said anything. Well, I called my customer, who's the buyer, and he's like, nah, he never said anything about that. So the guy was lying. Which in the turn comes back on me in the end, because I'm the broker, and then I have to hear about it. Alrighty, well, good morning. We are headed down 95. Got a couple of stops. What I thought was going to be one stop turns into two. Got 2 truck beds. Used truck beds, rust-free parts. They are headed to, one is headed to Hopewell, Virginia, which is going to, it's for the jail. It's for FCI. But they have, looks like from the map and the address I was given, they have an on-site building, obviously outside of the jail, where they receive everything that comes into the jail. So it says the gates open at, the gates open at 7:30 there. So I got on and looked at the reviews, and it said like all receiving for so and so jail, gates open at 7:30. And you can see it on the map. It's just right off the road. It's like a little warehouse. So I'm hoping that's where they'll accept this at. I'm assuming they have a bed on one of their trucks that maybe got crashed, or...
Watch out, vehicle on shoulder ahead.
I wouldn't think would be rust down here south of Richmond, but I don't know. And then another one goes to a body shop on the way back up. So I have a drop, a pick today. It's kind of how I'm working it. I'm going as far south as my day is, and then working my way back. Drop, pick. And then, depending on the time... Okay, put yourself over there. depending on the time, I may just go ahead and drop these cars off today, or I may do it in the morning. I hadn't yawned the whole time until I started recording. So we'll kind of see how time goes today. More repossessions to pick up. I think they're 400 a piece for 100-ish miles. So it kind of worked out good because I was only going to have one truck bed, ended up selling another one, and was able to pick it up last night with the other one because like within 30 minutes of me getting there, he had finally, I guess they had paid and given him an address for delivery for the second one, so worked out well. But I gotta find a place to stop, whether it be the Loves down here to get some paperwork printed out, because my printer broke last night, and I need to print out the sheets for the repo yard. Or if I don't stop at Loves, I might hit Mannheim, Fredericksburg up here and just use their printer. Done that before. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But sun's just now coming up, and we are. Where is this? Woodbridge. A little bit of traffic this morning. Beat most of it, which was nice, and got a good jump on the day. Oh, sorry, I almost fell asleep sitting here waiting for this guy to get out of the fuel island. I guess this is what I get for getting the cheapest diesel fuel I've seen in years. I just filled up $3.29 a gallon pump price. Is that a Sheets? Thornburg, Virginia, exit 118 on 95. There's a Sheets that has diesel pumps here, and they actually just made a parking lot for truck parking here as well, and $3.29. But this guy, I'm looking for him, pulled up to the pump and he was putting air in his tires, which took him 10 minutes with a, those air pumps at any gas station or Sheets. They luckily have them here in the diesel pumps if you're in a pinch, but they take forever. So it took him at least 10 minutes to check his tire pressure and adjust whatever. I don't know if he had one that was low or multiple. I couldn't really tell what he was doing. And he pulls up, and now he's been in the store for, I don't know. I filled up, I updated my fuel log, I made a TikTok, I cleaned the windshield, and now I've been sitting here for another 10 minutes, so I guess that's what I get for coming in here. But it's like, holy crap, dude, what are you doing?
4, 4, 3.
I saw him waddling around. Well, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I am kind of liking this local work. It's nice to be home every night, especially when there's things going on at home that need my attention. I can get them done. I don't have to rely on somebody else. And by that I mean, like, I got brother-in-laws and my father-in-law all right there at our house. My wife was having an issue with the heated water trough this morning. She doesn't have time to mess with it because she's watching our son. She's a stay-at-home mom. It's 20-something degrees out this morning, and I know that the sun is going to come up. It'll thaw it out enough for the horses to have water, during the day, and I can get home and address it. I don't have to worry about 3 days from now being home to take care of it, which is nice. So there might be some change. I'm going to do this. I'm still going to be on the road. I still have trips to make as far as like Florida stuff, regular customer stuff. You know, 2024 is coming. What's the new truck situation going to be like? How many am I going to be hauling? And most of those are only one night gone. So being more local is nice if I can make the money that I need to make and I want to make. And it's if the money's there for me and I'm satisfied with it, that's when I was talking about, you know, buying a rollback. I would, you know, potentially put somebody in a 2-car, 3-car rollback to do some of this work and open up to more like towing stuff. Doesn't interest me as much, but it's kind of like I can do what I do, but I can still have that other, you know, side. It's just something to think about. I've already looked into insurance. I've already talked to my insurance company about, you know, towing, the insurance for that, and I'm okay with it. It's just I just saw a van pulling a trailer that was hooked, that had a dolly behind it too. Anyways, so it's just kind of something to look into. I like them being home more. We're talking about potentially building a house, and like from what my, you know, seeing my parents put that large addition on their house, and how my dad said that, you know, was pretty much a full-time job in its own while he was trying to work nights. I'm not going to be able to do something like that and be on the road for weeks at a time. So that's not saying building a house is in the cards for, you know, 2024. The plans may start, the land may be bought. We're just having trouble finding a place that we're going to be happy with forever, and I'm not moving more than once. It needs to be a forever place. It needs to work for her and I. She's more concerned about how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, where the bedrooms and bathrooms are located. It's kind of her, what she wants in that, and I'm fine with that. Mine's more of the land, shop potential, and then barn potential. It also could get into something where if we buy a larger plot of land that has farmable acres, I can either lease or profit share to either my father-in-law or one of our friends who farms as well, who's looking for more land. So I don't know why I tell you guys that. It's just stuff that goes through my head, and I let you guys in on a lot of stuff in my life. That's why I make these videos. I enjoy it. I enjoy showing the journey, and you know, I enjoy making YouTube and TikTok videos. So I'm a little worried about how long it's going to take to get unloaded at this prison. It could be quick, it could be slow, because I'm a little tight on time because of I had to stop and print out 2 bill of ladings for today because my printer stopped working. I'm gonna have to stop and just buy a new printer today because it said like error C manual, and I couldn't get it to work. And that printer's been, I've had that printer for probably 5 years. Well, that was good timing. The bed's for this guy right here. They were picking up trash here at the prison, and he saw me pull in. He stopped and walked over, told me just to follow him, and they'll get it unloaded for me. He didn't think it'd be here till after the first of the year, so that worked out perfect.
I see why someone stopped paying on this one. Look at my smoke trail. Trying to get this thing out here.
Well, I done and messed up today. It'll be alright. So, called to pick up one of these. I was headed to I was there actually to pick up my second repossession. And I double checked at the hours of operation on the BOL, and it said 10 to 4. And I was like, okay. But I forgot the lady on the phone had told me 8 to noon. But I thought it was that was for the other place. I was there before noon at the other place, but I didn't get to the other second stop till like 1:30. So I called her and I was like, hey, I think I messed up. Is anybody around? Of course nobody was around, which, little fun fact, her office was open and unlocked because I walked in there and then I stepped back out because the lights were off, and then I looked at the door and it said 8 to 12, and I was like, oh. So I guess I'm gonna, they don't release on Friday, so I guess I'm just gonna have to wait till next week to get that one. And that's my bad. Just so many moving parts. That's one thing about being, you know, semi-local, is you're dealing with more pickups and more deliveries. So there's a lot more to remember. On top of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shipments in progress for my used truck bed customer, between truck beds and full trucks. It's just a lot going on. I try to keep it all straight, but that's why I write everything down so I remember, and then when it's complete, it's all crossed off when I know it's complete. But that's my bad. I'm gonna try to find something to fill in for tomorrow, to go along with this other one up to the auction. If not, it is what it is. I've got to pick up out of IAA for my van customer, which I won't deliver that till next week probably. I'll hope he buys something else in the area to go up with it. If not, early next week I'll have to find something to take up with it. We'll see what happens. I hate coming this way. If anybody knows where this is, coming through Luckett's, Leesburg area, it's just this 2-lane road like this, and at any time, it is just terrible traffic. So, gotta get home, gotta fix the plug on the trailer for the lights and brakes, and the electrical plug. I little boo-boo, and it needs repaired, so that's what I'll do when I get home.